role is to connect you to the opportunities to grow your business. And this evening, we're going to be digitizing the legacy by using technology, especially through the AI area, to really support your business and how you will grow it. So I would just like to thank K. Allen Consulting for facilitating a very timely and opportune subject matter, and all of you who have joined in. And to my NOTCF team, as always, I'm always grateful for the work that you do to keep the culture elevated. So without further ado, I will turn it right back over to K. Allen Consulting, right over to Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. It's a pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. I am here as well as my incredible colleague, Cameron Ward, that you see on screen. And we both are really excited to support you in the training this afternoon. While I'll be facilitating, Cameron will be providing support in the chat. And I am just excited about this topic because the time could not be better, y'all. If you are not paying attention, AI is here. And it is not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it is increasing and is definitely impacting economies, not only locally and statewide, but across the country and the globe. And so here's a little bit about myself. I'm the CEO and founder of our management consulting firm. So a little bit about us here on this slide and the type of work that we do. And here are some of the brands that we have the opportunity to support each and every day via the consulting work that we do. And so we're gonna, dive in first and foremost by centering the primary objective and purpose of our time together, which is to make sure that we provide really key insights about digital technology at large and the importance of it and ways that you can use it, especially AI. But I just want to note that, artificial intelligence is one form of digital technology, but there's so many other, ways that digital tech can be utilized within your business model. And so we want to make sure that you are thinking about digital technology and AI in particular to grow your revenue, but also grow your impact and tell the story and uplift the power of what you are doing. And so that said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen really quickly. And I have an ask for you all. I know that AI in particular is a newer term, so to speak, in terms of mass society usage, but AI has been here for a while. So I would love for y'all to put in the chat your first knowledge of AI. So in other words, some way that you have seen AI be utilized in everyday life before it blew up, or if you are newer to it, a way that you've seen it be utilized that may not be explicit to just business. So think everyday life, right? Where do we see AI utilized in everyday life? And I'm going to check the chat as is Cam, and would love to. Yep. Elizabeth said Apple Maps. Absolutely. Definitely GPSs in general, right? Where else do we see it? And feel free to unmute too. If you don't want to utilize the chat, yes, Siri, Apple users, shout out to y'all. No,
That's
no,
all I'm saying.
no offense to the Droid users, but Yolanda, what was your response?
Cell phone every day, all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chat GPT.
Absolutely, right? And if we can go, y'all, to a bit of like everyday usage that is not like the newer platforms, I'm going to give you three. Number one, if you have any streaming platform, from Netflix to Amazon Prime to whatever, the ability for it to tell you what you might want to see next based on what you have watched before is a form of artificial intelligence before it was labeled to that, be that in the public's eye. So major tech brands have been using artificial intelligence for a very long time. And so at one point, I think many citizens, we were like, oh, that's nice. Netflix is recommending something to me. But the algorithm is doing it based on what we've seen before, right? Someone else already said maps. And that is absolutely correct, right? The ability to predict specifically traffic delays, right? and in real time tell us this is going to be a long red line. You might want to go this way, right? Versus that way. If you all can remember, the initial iterations of GPSs just gave you one route. So when GPSs adopted artificial intelligence, it gave the platforms the ability to provide multiple routes, right? As well as estimated times, because that's AI generated as well, right? I'm looking in the chat to see what else may be missing. Yep, and Google. Yep, Googling a word for a definition. Yes. And so like the summaries that you're provided by Google, if you were to Google search anything up top, the provision of those summaries is also AI generated, right? So I say that to say that AI is everywhere around us, and it's important to know that when surveyed at the top of 2025, and this data is really important to know, nearly 70% of business owners, small business owners in particular, indicated that they were already integrating some basic form of artificial intelligence. And that's very important to know. What that says is that their initial or emerging adoption of AI is a sign that is not only emerging, but it's increasing in usage. And it's not a matter of whether or not you should use it, it's whether or not you're going to be lockstep with the competition. Right. And when we say competition, that's anybody who is doing what we are doing locally. It could be statewide, regionally, or across the US. Right. And so that said, I'm going to reshare my slides really quickly, and we're going to get into some common ways that we're seeing AI be used. But then we're going to talk about some common ways in which it is not being used, and it is especially impacting Black and Brown business owners in particular. And so let me go back. Are you all able to, were you all able to see the screen right then? The slide? Okay. Because it was not showing it for me, so let me retry. Just 1 second. I'm troubleshooting to make sure it shows up this time. Okay, so here we go. All right. So going back here, here's what I want to show you all. Here are the 4 common ways in which people are utilizing digital technology right now. And I do want to note that there's a difference between being a beginner in digital tech usage versus being intermediate versus being advanced, right? And there's something that all of us can learn in all 3. And we're going to show you some of the different ways that you can approach it depending on where you feel like you are in the continuum. So marketing support, right? People utilizing digital technology to create marketing content is very common. People utilizing AI support and digital technology for customer support is very common. So those of you who even have social media pages, and you think about your DMs or your direct message field, there are digital technology platforms, apps, and AI that you can utilize that will respond to those DMs for you. And that is very common. When we think about generating ideas, ideas specific to what we may want to say, that's considered copy or text, right? That is also common, as well as just automating things that used to be done more manually, right? So automated templates, automation in email response, right? Those are some examples. But here's some things that I want to put in front of us to consider as to how business owners may be leaving not only money on the table, but maybe getting very behind in their adoption of AI and digital technology in general to work smarter in a way that drives income, right? And here are 3. So it's cultural artists and culture bearers in particular, right? Any of us, no matter what your business model is, you know by now in the work that you do that we can't just do a handshake and do business, right? We have to utilize contracts. But one way in particular that small business owners and Black and Brown business owners in particular can get ahead in their utilization of digital technology and AI is utilizing it for contract review. So often people are really grateful, really excited, right, to get an opportunity. that the gratitude for the opportunity compels us to sign it. You're like, okay, this is what's in writing, right? But being able to utilize an AI platform, even if it's chat, to upload the contract and give it a specific set of prompts, right? Here's an example of a prompt. And those of you who are brand new to AI, the prompt is just what you type into the AI platform to ask it as a question. Question number 1, what is missing from this contract that could be detrimental to me as a business owner? See how specific that question is, right? That looks out for you. It looks out for your intellectual property. It looks out for whether you're going to be paid on time or not. It looks out for if you are late paying me, right? Maybe I need to institute late fees. Like, it's going to pull all of that so that it identifies loopholes and pitfalls in which you could, I'm going to use my grandmother's language. I'm sure Lisa and Hervé and the NOTCF team will appreciate this, but don't let nobody screw you over. That's what my 87-year-old grandma says all the time. Because in my day, right, we were told one thing and we were signing a document that said something else. She always says that. And so I think about, again, the utility of being able to utilize AI and digital tech for contract review, but also negotiation. So here's the negotiation piece, is you utilizing the platform, especially if you don't have the means for legal representation. This is very important, y'all, because paying an attorney to negotiate a contract for you is not free, right? And so if we are not in a position to do that, we can then be prompting to ask, what should I say to counter, right, this contract language? Or what suggested language should I use in order to revise it or ask them to edit it, right? And do it in a way that shows that I'm appreciative for the contract, but I still want to protect my rights. Everything that you heard just come out of my mouth, you can literally say that to the platform itself so that it can generate for you, here's a friendly way to say it. Here's a way to protect yourself and not offend the person reading your response, right? Here's a second piece that tends to be a missed opportunity for business owners. Using AI and digital technology for market research. And what do I mean by market research? Here are 2 things. 1, what you should be charging. It is different to go ask Google what a market rate or cost is for the type of work you do versus utilizing artificial intelligence, because it is pulling way more deeper analysis from many different sources and is making it contextual to your area. So you can utilize it to say, what is the average cost for doing this type of work in New Orleans, Louisiana? And what it's going to do, right, is search even publicly made available contracts, right? All types of things to give you, here's what undercharging would look like. Here's what it would mean to overcharge. And here's what's in the middle. That is super important. So that if you decide you want to go with a lower price, you're making a well-informed decision, but you're certainly not being taken advantage of and not knowing it, right? Here's a third thing that is super, and actually let me go back to the market research, because here's a second example. Pricing, your pricing model is one thing, but the second example with market research is understanding new markets or new audiences that you are not tapping with the services that you provide or the products that you provide. Let me give you a prime example. There's somebody on this call right now, I guarantee you, that's doing self-care work in some kind of way, wellness work, whether it's massages, whether it's therapy, whatever you do, right? And there are whole markets and audiences that you may not be tapping. Number 1, hotel staff, school systems, teachers need your work. There are school systems that pay self-care experts to come in and do that work for their teachers, right? There are hotels that pay for those types of self-care and wellness services so they can stand out versus their hotel competitors, right? Number 3 is us actually thinking about market research in terms of geographic diversification. So even though we are place-based and we are here in the most amazing city in the world, who says that your products and services can't be sold in LA, can't be sold in Jamaica, can't be sold in Canada, right? So that market research is about understanding and really asking for the type of work that I do, right? What markets also have pain points that I could be meeting, needs that I could be meeting, right? Here's a third one, strategic business planning. And I'll stop right here and give us a minute to process. When we say strategic business planning, we are specifically talking about you creating a long-term plan for your business, right? So when we think, where do you want to be 2 years from now? In the money that you've made, in the clients and customers that you've reached, and your reach and visibility, right? Even in terms of radio, PR, media, all of that, you can leverage digital technology and AI to actually build you a 2 to 3 year business plan, complete with what you should be doing every single month to advance towards those business goals, right? So I'm gonna stop right here, stop sharing the screen as well. And I'm going to go around the room really quickly. And I want to ask you all which of those 4 options, and actually I'll reshare so that you have a point of reference. Which of these options stands out most to you and why? Okay, of these 3 options rather. And so I'm going to go on over to, let me see, Paula. Paula, if you're able to unmute. Would love to hear which one of these 3 capture your attention and why. Y'all can be on or off camera, y'all. It don't matter. Go ahead. We see you, Paula. We see the top of your head, Paula. But you're gonna have to unmute. You know how to unmute. You got it, girl. You got it. Come on. So which one of these 3 stood out most to you when you think about your business and opportunities to adopt even more, digital technology use or AI in particular?
I think more the strategic business planning because
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically a new business,
Mm-hmm.
so and is and right now I'm only doing festivals, so I need to basically come off the boat.
Yes. Yeah, and diversify your reach. Yeah.
And do other things to make my business survive and make it grow.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for your transparency. Paula, we really appreciate it. And then I'm gonna go over to Angie. Now, Angie, I don't know your full name. I just see Angie. What stands out to you of these 3 options? Areas where we may be leaving money on the table and for impact.
My apologies. I didn't realize my full name wasn't there. It's Natasha
Okay.
Godin.
Okay.
I tell you what, I tried to pick one, but they all resonate.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
They all resonate. There's something to be had in each one of those segments.
Mhm.
May I make a comment as well?
Yes, you can.
One of the concerns, though, is the data that we're feeding the AI.
Mhm.
Okay, you're going to cover it for us because we need assistance in
Yeah.
looking at what others may have asked in the same topic and how to circumvent that
Yeah.
information.
Yep.
Coming back in your research, and it's like, this has
Yeah.
nothing to do with us, but
Yeah. No, that's a good one. So one thing that you can do, especially when it comes to the contract piece, is instead of uploading the actual contract into the platform, copy all of the wording from the contract or certain sections of the contract that you may have concern with and put that into the platform. Make sure you remove all entity names. So the name of your business, if you were having a contract with NOTCF, you would remove the NOTCF portion. So it's looking at it as a generic document and not specific to the confidentiality between you and the organization.
thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent.
And then no, you're all welcome. You are totally fine. Thank you for your contribution there too. And I'm gonna build on yours and get one more person, and that's Yolanda. So hey, Yolanda. Would love to hear from you. Which of these 3 stand out to you?
So for me, it's 2 of them. It's the contract review negotiation and the strategy business plan.
Mm-hmm.
And both because, yes, in my line of work, I do have to deal with contracts between me and my client. And I may have an individual or I may have an organization. So yes, that hits home with me and being able to understand what it is that I need to be asking, bring more clarification to me, and
Yeah.
also the people that I'm working with as well, to be
Yeah.
on the up and be honest, you
Yeah.
know. And the planning side of it is to know what my future may look like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you so much for that. I really
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And just in now, and then Leandra, your hand is up, and then we'll take your comment, and really any more. If any more folks want to pause here and ask any questions or share comments, you can before we get into what are the suggestions for beginners versus intermediate versus advanced. We'll go to that section next. So go ahead, Leandra.
Okay. I have a question because I'm at a crossroads of trying to figure out who has the funding for my specific business. For example, my mother lover deals with a lot of like doula, birth justice, centering the mother. And I know there's a lot of money out there, especially right now, because it's being highlighted how Black women have such a low or high rate of infant mortality and maternal mortality. So there's a lot of money being put in, but I don't know who has the money, or where do I find these entities? That go in these three, and that's kind of my question.
That's a wonderful question. And your question totally fits in number 2 for research, the market research. And so if you have a subscription, even to a free version of an AI generator, such as, ChatGPT, you can ask it like that specific question. You turn everything you just said to me, Leandra, into a question that's considered a prompt and put it in, and it's going to share that with you. And I would encourage us, because we're going to get into a little practice this afternoon too, to be as specific as possible. Right. So the fact that it is October 2025, I would even go this far, and hopefully this is helpful to someone else too. What business grants are available for business owners that do basically describe what it is that you do, that I could apply for between now and January 2026. And you know what's going to generate for you? All the upcoming grant deadlines, where they are, even nationally, whether Shea Moisture has a grant for this, and that's super helpful, because it's responding. If y'all don't provide specific questions and prompts, it's going to give you vague information. So you know what it's going to do? It's going to give you business grants, but then when you click on the link, it expired. That was from December 2024. That's why putting the time frame in there is really important, because you're asking it to go everywhere online, globally, nationally, and tell me what are upcoming business grants. And you can even be more specific. If you don't want a $250 grant, you can say business grants that are 10,000 and above. You can get as specific as you want, and it's going to give you just that precise information. So that was a beautiful question, Leandra. Anyone else have a question or comment before we move forward?
This is Catherine. I just wanted to say with the lady that just spoke about doula, community health workers of New Orleans. It's called LaShawn. I'll put the code in there. I don't know how to get on the app. They always talking about, and they always send emails like from the health department about training for doulas and information. Now, that's not an area I'm interested in, but I'll put the name of the organization. And you also might want to, if you are a doula, you might want to look at Medicaid, like funding through Medicaid if you're a doula.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot about grants. The area they're trying to, I see some people trying to get grants so the patients can get the doula for free. So they're talking about that in that particular organization. Like I say, I have no interest in it, but I'm gonna send you the name of the organization.
Oh, good. Thank you. Definitely put that in the chat. And that's what makes this space so beautiful as well. We're able to network with one another and help one another, right? And so building on that, let's get into some of the recommendations depending on where you are. So this is a message for all the beginners, right? Because we all got to start somewhere. So the goal that we are tasking you with closing 2025, because the year is not over, is really to build your confidence, right? Like, Think about a new cell phone. When you get a new cell phone, even though you are grown, you start playing with it a little bit. You got to test it out. You got to fill it out until you build your confidence in how to utilize it. And I want you to think about digital technology and AI usage in the exact same way, right? The prompt, for instance, that you put into even something like ChatGPT might be vague at first, and then you just keep refining it. You keep editing what you want it to be until you get, right there. And so this, what you see here is 4 different strategies, right? And platforms, or devices that you can utilize to build your confidence, right? Just to play with it a bit. We have recommendations for folks who are intermediate and also advanced, but I want to walk through these first for the beginners. So one is using any type of like AI social media assistant. So those of you who use Canva, Canva has actually rolled out their own integration of AI usage, right? And so Canva Magic Write is something that you can use, for instance, that will help you not only create flyers or create social media, posts or content, but it'll generate hashtags for you. It'll generate captions for you. It'll tell you essentially what to say. If you are thinking about design in general and you're like, hey, I don't really do well with Canva, so I need AI to make it for me, not me making it myself through Canva, right? You can also utilize Canva's AI image generator. And these are platforms as well, y'all, that depend on your subscription level, you could also do it with a voice integration. So if you know that you're not a big typer, you can really talk directly into it and submit it, and it will generate. Like, I need a flyer that has, little like Black children between the ages of 3 to 6, and here's what they're doing, and here's what I want the flyer to say, and like, boom, it's gonna make it for you. That's good. It saves you a lot of time. And to be honest with you, it actually saves you money of paying somebody to do it for you, right? And so you can continue to tweak it similar to how we describe ChatGPT to refine that flyer to get it to be exactly what you want it to be. Microsoft Designer is also another platform that you can contemplate using for visual design. There are a lot of voice to text AI and digital technology platforms as well. And a lot of them, some of you all are already utilizing it, especially if you're in intermediate and advanced, but you're in the beginning stage. Definitely download platforms like Otter AI, right? Or any type of note taker so that you can go back to look at the notes of what happened in a meeting or a conversation, right? Especially if you know that you want to make sure you don't miss anything. Using QR codes, that's a form, of course, of digital technology. And the QR codes can take you to a lot of different things. I have a book. And often when I don't have my physical book with me, I literally on a PowerPoint slide only have the QR code. People go straight to Barnes and Noble from that code, straight to Amazon, to Walmart, wherever they want to purchase the book, and they buy it right there on the spot. And of course, any and many of you who use Venmo, Cash App, all of those things, being able to instead, at the beginner level, telling people what your handles are instead just showing your QR code and allowing them to scan it is another way that you can use digital technology. So again, this is just for beginners, as recommendations. Folks who are more intermediate, I think the big push for you is that you are utilizing some form of digital technology and AI, but it's focusing on more and more ways to make sure that integration is driving income, not just building your confidence, right? But driving income in a very strategic way. The first thing I want to note for y'all, especially if you're in the intermediate category, is the 3 other areas we named. One, are you using digital technology for contract review, for contract negotiation, right? For your market research, especially when it comes to new areas that you could be generating income that you're leaving on the table, as well as what you should be charging. And then also helping you build your long-term business plan, even your pitch deck. There are investors who want to invest in us, and they may ask you, hey, can you send me a pitch deck? And you're like, I don't have one. You can utilize digital technology or AI to generate your business's pitch deck, right? But here are 4 additional ways for you as intermediate business owners to consider. Really thinking about how are you leveraging the data or the information from businesses or people that you meet, even people you meet on the street, collecting information from them so that you can utilize email marketing and do that not only as a form of digital technology, but integrate AI usage into it, right? And so being able to, if you already have a newsletter that you send out in your business, and especially if you use, let's say, for instance, a platform like MailChimp, utilizing the AI add-on is really, really helpful because it not only helps you create content, it helps you analyze your data. Like, what types of people, or what do we see in common of the people who are unsubscribing to our newsletter? All the way down to what portions of the newsletter are getting the most traction and why, right? Because that's really smart because you want to pay attention to open rate, right? The thing is not how many newsletters you send out, is paying attention to how captivating that content is. Because if it is captivating, it's going to lead them directly to book with you or to purchase services, right? If you are not paying attention to your data and you're not looking at how many people are unsubscribing or not opening the message, you are spending a lot of time doing something that's not yielding proper return, right? Another one is, utilizing Chat GPT for customer service and for different ideas in terms of how do you respond to different matters, even customers being dissatisfied, right? There are often times where a business owner can go left and be led by emotion and what they say back to a consumer, especially if it's in writing. And you can utilize these platforms to say, what is the best response to this particular comment, right? Or to this review, or to this email that we received, right? How do I best handle that? And also utilizing digital technology for content revision and refinement. So those of you who are making reels, you're making lots of different forms of social media content on a recurring basis, utilizing that to not only put those, pieces of content together, but to also enhance your ability to get higher engagement, right? So being able to really use it almost as like a thought partner to your content generation, and use it in a way that's more proactive instead of reactive is better in what we recommend. Last but not least, paying attention to what's considered predictive analytics for your sales, right? So those of you who are using e-commerce platforms, they are integrating AI into those platforms as well. So being able to, understand the insights based on sales is really different than just paying attention to how much money did I make this month, right? And so there are certain insights in terms of you paying attention to the time of day that people are buying, you paying attention to what product sales are going down and what time of year you're noticing them go down, especially the longer you use that e-commerce platform. All of that is going to help you make smart decisions. One, what should you take off your shelf? If you're using Etsy and you're selling this, but it's noticing that, the AI prompts and the insights can tell you, yes, you should use this product, but you should particularly post and keep this product from January to February because that's where you're, getting the most traction with it, right? It can also inform where you should be beefing up your marketing and your advertising, because if you have those slower times a year in e-commerce, those are opportunities that you can take advantage of, right? And so last, I want to show the advanced piece, and then I want to give us an opportunity to go into breakout rooms and chat with one another a little bit more, something that we're called a give and get exercise or protocol. But for those of you who are advancing your usage, is thinking about how do you use digital technology and AI to scale, right? Making sure it's one thing to increase your revenue and go through growth phase. It's another thing to say, how can I replicate myself or the services that I do or the products in many different places at the exact same time, right? So that you're not only just working smarter, but you're creating more ease for yourself as a founder or as a CEO or as an executive director. And here are some of the different ways. There are 5 on this page. I won't go through each one, but I'll let you all check it out. And if you want to, take a screenshot, or a photo even by phone of these particular tactics and strategies, feel free to do so. But one thing is thinking about how are you using it to manage workflow? So those of you, for instance, who don't utilize a project management platform, adopting it and also getting the app for that platform on your phone. So whether that's Trello, whether that's Asana, whether that's Monday, if you have 20 people working for you on a major project with many different tasks, there's no way in the world you're going to know what they're doing at all times if you don't have a way of tracking all of the different work tasks and whether they're in progress, whether they've started, they haven't started, whether they finished, right? And you can't just go by word of mouth. How are things going? They're fine. Actually, it's not fine because these are 17 things that haven't been completed that's assigned to this person, right? And so that helps you be really smart about the talent you retain, because those of you who are in an advanced stage of business, you have to be thinking about the quality and protecting your brand. And you protect your brand by ensuring that everyone is on the same page about what they're doing at all times to advance the brand, right? And think about the longevity and sustainability of the company. And so I want to stop right here and give you an opportunity to share any thoughts or questions you have, depending on if you're in the beginner stage versus intermediate versus advanced, before we go to breakout rooms.
I just wanted, hey, this is Catherine. I just wanted to share another nonprofit shared with us about perplexity. And it was on the news the other day about this lady winning a lawsuit, and that's what she used, perplexity. And you can write a grant so fast using that AI platform with perplexity. So when you said about contracts, I'm gonna put that in.
Grant writing. Yeah. Helping you write the narratives.
Yeah, and then somebody else, we had a problem with this neighbor with all this trash and everything like that. And then somebody at Nord showed me how to put it in perplexity too. It's really good. And we put it in there and they could clean that property up so fast. It was the wording that he showed us how to do it. So I would tell anybody what they do, they research the company and it's fast. And they research the grant and they write a grant for you. It is so fast and it's free.
No,
I'll put it, I'll spell it and put it there.
Yeah, and I think that's another beautiful example of cost savings, right? And so I think it's not necessarily taking away your authenticity or you being culturally responsive in the way that you complete a task, especially completing, a grant application, but it's getting assistance. If you're in a place where you can't afford to pay a grant writer, utilizing a platform to help you complete that grant application and then going in and refining it to make sure that it is your voice and is representing what you want it to is really important, because at the end of the day, no matter how advanced AI becomes, it's still literally what's considered a language model. It is a computer. It does not have emotional intelligence. It does not have your voice, right? It can't see all the things that you see and know. And so you have to think about AI in particular as a way to enhance, not to replace your original thought. And that's a totally different approach, so you don't become overly dependent on it. Right?
You have to edit it.
Exactly. And then sometimes it's wrong. There's information that can, because it's a computer, right? So there can be aspects of what it has that can be inaccurate. And so we always have to check for that. Anything else anyone want to contribute before we go into a quick breakout discussion?
I wanted to bring up something that I've used recently, is the Wix website builder. They have an AI generator to create a website specifically to, your business. And then you can also, they have an AI generator to put in a donation, like do a fundraising campaign, and then your e-commerce. So you don't need to hire anyone, essentially, website, but and it was pretty easy. And I don't do technology very well. But anyway, I noticed that that wasn't quite on the list, but that's something that I've used. That's very helpful.
Yeah. And Leandra, what you just shared is a perfect segue to the breakout rooms because we set it up for this reason. I'm gonna share my screen again so y'all can see it. But the examples we gave were not exhaustive. They don't show everything on purpose, right? There's so many different digital technology platforms and AI platforms in particular that you all can use. And we want to give you an opportunity, literally similar to what you just saw modeled, to share with one another. And we call this give and get. Right. And so we're going to put y'all in intentional small groupings, no more than 3 or 4 people in a breakout room. And we would love for you to go around really quickly and share an idea of how to utilize digital technology or AI in business. Right. And if you do not have anything to give and you like, actually, I'm brand new to this. I'm learning. I don't know what to tell y'all. That's okay too. What I want you to do is present your business model, and we would love for the people in your group to advise you, right? So that's why we share like give or get, because in that situation or scenario, you are getting advice from the people around you instead of giving it. Okay. And I'm going to now stop and set up our breakout rooms, and then give us about 5 to 10 minutes max in there with one another, and then we'll come back and engage in a little bit of practice in Q&A. While I'm setting this up, are there any additional comments, additional questions, or anything from the NOTCF team that any one of you all want to share?
I was wondering if Leandra could share that resource again. I
Oh, in the
missed
chat.
it.
Okay.
Yes. Yes,
Yep.
please.
And I
Thank you.
think, well, here's the thing. It's via Wix as a website platform, but there's GoDaddy, there's Squarespace, there's a whole lot of website platforms. So if you don't have a website, part of it is figuring out which of the website platforms you might want to use. And each of them are adopting their own form of some, AI integration. So you can use the Wix one that Leandra beautifully shared as an example, but you can also use any of the others as well. And then she's going to put it in the chat if you can. There you go. Yep, there you go.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
And
for
I
that.
actually have my website is actually with Wix, so that's really
Oh,
handy
that's
to know.
perfect. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, yeah,
All
that's
right. Thank
perfect.
you.
Yeah, you are so welcome. And so the rooms are now open. Um, And I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to dip off into your rooms and either give insight to others in the room or get it. If you have a question about how you can utilize more digital technology or AI, and I'm gonna stay back to just see Cam and I to make sure that everyone gets settled in their rooms. So we have Al Polite and Catherine. Okay, almost everybody. Hey, Gia. Let's see. Cheryl, Okay, there we go. Mr. Pali, are you able to see a little button at the bottom of your screen that says breakout rooms? Okay, he might be in the side conversation, y'all. Okay, Cheryl, Angia, if y'all look at the very bottom of your screen, you should see 3 dots. Click on it, and then you'll see an option that says breakout rooms.
Hold on.
Okay.
Does it have 4 boxes?
Yep. That's
Okay.
it. That's it. Let's see. I want to make sure. Okay, bam. And then we're only left with Mr. Polite. Okay, so everyone else is settled. Let me pause, Kim, really quickly.
and them come in and speak up on their suits and, you know, about the suits, what it mean to them and how they got into it and what the culture mean to them and
Good.
everything and what makes us do this. So
It
that was
sounds
good advice I got.
that's good. Listen, it sounds like whoever was in your breakout room, you need to stay in contact with them.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Oh, Mr.
Welcome
L.
back, y'all. Welcome back. And so
Thank
here,
you.
I hope that you felt that being in the smaller group with the folks that you were in the group with was really helpful
Oh
for you.
yes, very much.
Whether you, thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Al.
very much. Especially like I said, everybody in there because the first lady came in and she really, and when they was talking, it was feeding my spirit because see,
That's
I'm
so
new at this.
good.
Yes, I'm
That
just
is
new
so
at it and I'm
good.
feeling my way through. And like I
The
said,
amen to that.
and they put
Now,
me on
Mr.
point.
Al, let me pause you, Mr. Al. Now, that comment was meant for the whole room. I hope it was helpful to the whole room. Now,
Yeah.
you got recharged. Now, I need to know who was in the room with Mr. Al, y'all, because he is just loving on y'all out loud. Who was in the room with Mr. Al? Let's see. Oh, Elizabeth. Shout out
You
to
know,
Elizabeth, to Catherine and Yolanda. Okay, because
that's
if
really
your
lying.
friends if your friends don't speak about you the way Mr. Al speak about three of y'all, throw them away, y'all. Throw them away.
Yeah, I couldn't see where to raise my hand at, but I want to let Mr. L know if he don't have Chat GPT, he needs to go ahead and get that app ASAP
Yes.
and ask it the question that you need to ask so you can find a resource or the information
Yeah,
that you need in your business area.
that's
It will
right.
give you that.
That's right. Yolanda, I think you in my slides because that's what we about to do. We about to do a little practice. Cameron and I were talking about this before y'all got back. So Cameron is he dropped in the chat GPT link. Those of you who already have chat. We just want you to open it up. Now, if you don't have chat, you can use the free version by clicking on the link that Cameron put in the chat. Okay. So there are two different prompts we're about to play with right now. One is going to increase our dollars to secure more and more of the bag going into 2026. Okay. And so, what I want you to do is click on the link if you are new. If you are not new and you have it open, I want you to ask, given the business model that you have. So, you might want to say the type of business that you have, but ask it, what new audiences or new markets should you be positioning yourself with in 2026? In other words, where am I leaving money on the table? Right? And so I want you to and you can play around with it a little bit in terms of your precise language. You may want to, and I'm going to put a sample. Can we get the Gia? Absolutely, you absolutely can, and it's recorded too, so it'll be sent out. It'll be posted on the YouTube channel. So yeah, absolutely. And so I want you all to ask, again, given your business model, like I make custom costumes, da 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 da. Where in New Orleans or in South Louisiana or in the state of Louisiana, like what target audiences, right? What markets should I be positioning myself with, marketing to, right? What opportunities are there for me to increase money or revenue or profit in my business? And you already see how quickly it's generating ideas for you, right? And if it's not specific enough, edit the prompt, right? You don't have to put a whole new prompt in if you're new. You can just say, well, tell me about, opportunities in Plaquemine Parish or in St. Charles Parish. Are there any festivals that my business should be present with in 2026 in South Louisiana parishes? Right? And so you're beginning to see several things, right? Here's the second thing I want you to pay attention to and maybe play around with. I want you to ask it what you should be charging for what it is that you do. Like, what are market rates or costs? And then describe whatever the work is. Some of you are presenting presentations. You're doing public speaking. Like, you should ask, if I am speaking for 30 minutes to this organization of this size and I'm a brand new speaker, what should I probably be charging? Right? So you can see some of that market research that is able to generate back to you. And you can even ask it, you can even put in your current rates. I'm charging $1,000 for a costume right now, and it's taking me 5 hours to do it. Am I undercharging? Am I overcharging? And see what it tells you in return. And so that's just one particular, avenue and lens in which we can really think about positioning it as a business coach, as business counsel, right? And then the other thing that I want to share, oh, thank you. This is so good. This is so good. The other thing that I want to share with you all, Cameron is going to put in the chat, but it's a great curated list of how business owners can better utilize AI tools in very specific ways. So if you're looking at AI for project management versus if you're looking for it to create graphic designs for you, versus if you need a free assistant, right? Versus you need help responding to DMs, like depending on the different functions, you'll see on the link that Cameron just shared over 15 different ways that business owners should be utilizing platforms. And it gives you 3, 4, 5 different specific platforms that are the top rated and reviewed platforms, because all AI platforms are not created equal, right? And so everything on this list is vetted, right? And so I want to stop right there and go around the room really quickly and give everyone an opportunity to share something that may be top of mind for you as you think about opportunities to integrate more digital technology in general, and AI in particular. And so I am going to actually take a moment and go back to the slide deck just to give you a couple of sample questions to consider in your reflection. And we'll ask everyone to keep it, really, really brief, so that it's not too long. And here are the questions: either something that resonated with you, so something that's top of mind, something you're either excited to do as a result of the conversation that happened tonight, whether it was in your breakout room or it was whole group, or just the next step that you are committed to. And I'm going to ask everyone to keep it 30 seconds or under. Now, if you go over 30 seconds, I am going to say pause. I love you, but I got to pull you back because we got a lot of people. Okay. So I am going to actually start really quickly with Catherine. Catherine, if you're able to unmute, and if I call on NOTCF staff, you can just pass and just say pass, because there are a few of you that I don't know yet. So Catherine, if you could share a reflection. All right, Catherine may not be able to unmute. Clave, I'm gonna pass on you. Yolanda, what's top of mind for you? Either next step, something resonated with you?
Well, what I'm looking forward to is really, I learned that AI can help you with grant writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even think about to put the grant writing inside of AI and let it formulate like that. And also one of the young ladies in the class gave us some insightful information. I dropped my email so I could start getting the newsletter so I could be well informed about that as well. So I enjoyed this and the networking that came along with it. So thank you.
Good. That's good. And we're going to provide a follow-up one-pager, y'all, of some really great platforms, pretty much a synopsis of what you see on that link, and some more information and insight too. Catherine, coming to you next. You can respond to any of the questions you see on the
Well, let me tell you, I couldn't get back to unmute. I did the chat GPT and the information was so long, so I had to email it to myself. It was a
Oh,
lot of
good.
information. I mean, it's so much information. I had to send an email to myself
That's
to try
good.
to get it all. So
That's
this
so
contract.
good.
Yeah, I had a student worker this summer, and she was so good. She's Taiwanese. We offer education, recreational programs for youth. So one of the things I'm gonna go plug the contract in. But I'm gonna
To
use
see what's,
Perplexity.
yep.
Right, but the chat GPT thing was so long till and send me that link again because I think I lost
Okay.
it. I put that
Yes,
email and they
ma'am.
did a real good comparison, but it's just a lot of
A
we
lot
don't
of things.
charge. There was a lot of information. We don't
Yeah.
charge, and it gave how much people charge for it. And we lose a lot of money by not charging. And the hardest thing is to get people to donate.
Yep.
You
And
know,
and Miss
go ahead.
Catherine, let me pause you real quick because I gotta go through a whole bunch of more people.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But no, what you gave is really good. And I would say too, you can ask it for a shorter description too, right? Like in 1 or 2 paragraphs, give me X, Y, and Z. So you just put more and more limits on it. And so then let me go over to Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Okay. It's okay. It happens.
I think I also got thrown off with having the other screen. The button wasn't working like usual. So I put in those 2 prompts because I'm a visual artist and art educator. And I put in those 2 prompts, just like how could I expand my market to reach more people? And it kind of like reaffirmed most of the things that I'm doing. It also gave me like a very organized list in different sections. It reminded me about reaching out maybe to like curators, interior decorators, all these people. And it, it broke it down to the different sections. So I opened up another tab for the other question so that I could save that because there was information. It kind of reaffirmed what I was already doing, but added on, kind of reminded me also of some of the suggestions that I've had from other people. For making little process videos, things like that. And then I made another thing. You were talking about how to make more money or like different things about the market. And kind of ask like, what was a reasonable price for a painting that took so many hours? Because I had one that I had an idea. It's the one I had spent the most time on recently, so many hours. And I put in like, if I spent about this many hours, how much should it cost? And it kind of reaffirmed what I was already thinking. And it gave me different ways to break that down.
That's good.
Go by scale or hours,
That's good.
experience. So all those things I'm going to look back on. But
That's
then,
so good.
so I think it's very useful. So I should, that I think it's a way to like reaffirm and then also break down things into different categories. But also, I want to say something funny though.
Wait, I was like, Sarah, I got to pull you back, girl. You're going over 30 seconds.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to say something really funny though about my school.
Go ahead.
As my school recently, they gave us like, oh, we've got Magic School Classroom and we can use AI. I haven't used it yet, but I could see they used it because they gave us job descriptions we had to sign. And it was like about the art teacher would, it reach all these audiences, allow for self-expression through all these things. And you could tell it wasn't them. They used that to give us a job.
The voice, yeah. So you got to make it your own. No, this is really
All right,
important. Thank you. No, thank you, Sarah. Yolanda, you went. I'm going straight down to Sunshine. Hey, Sunshine. That's a beautiful name. Are you able to unmute? Now, all that time, I thought Sunshine was in a car until I realized this is Sunshine's profile picture, y'all. I was like, she has not moved for an hour. Go ahead, Sunshine.
I learned a lot. So I never knew that we had task managers. So I'm definitely going to be looking into Monday. I will be using Perplexity for grant writing. Didn't know that was out there as well. And I also recently, a few minutes ago, I used Chat GPT to look up food and beverage grants in our areas in New Orleans, and a lot came up. So that was 3 things that I had no clue about.
That's good.
So this was very, very informative and very appreciated.
Good. I love it. Now I'm going from you to Will. Hey, Will. Will has a record label, y'all. He let us know that.
Hello.
In his introduction. What you got, Will?
Well, I got into Chat GPT. I just asked it a question and it gave me a bunch of stuff.
That's good.
That's my first. This is on the trucking business here, though.
Uh-huh.
The record label gonna be a little more complex once I
Yeah.
start asking those questions. But what I want to do is try to create I don't know the proper word, but y'all probably know better than me. Something to where when I put my music on it and people want to purchase my music, they can download it directly through me and pay directly to me instead of going through all these other sites.
Yeah, your own hosting and streaming, yeah, access. You can actually you can send a prompt to, whether it's Perplexity, Chat GPT, OpenAI, any of these platforms to ask it the best way to go about doing that, right? Like how to best do it, things to stay away from, do's and don'ts of that. But I think that's a wonderful idea. Just direct sourcing is what it's called. And so thank you for that, Will. And then I'm gonna go over to Paula and then Leandra. Paula, what you got?
Okay. I have used Copilot, the AI Copilot. I have used that for the grant writing. I just put my revenue in, and it actually wrote the whole thing out, and what should I do in marketing and everything. And with the CPT today, I put about the festivals and everything. It actually told me how to price my item.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
it also told me to incorporate my insurance that I paid, my oil and everything that I use. I didn't know to incorporate all these different things
Yeah,
that I pay monthly,
that's
like
so good.
the booth fee and everything. So it gave me all this.
That's so good. And I will tell y'all two things. I have used it to vet our own consulting firms vendors. So when people give us quotes, whether it's a quote for photography, videography, on down to our accountant, right? I understand if what they're asking me to pay and us to pay, if it's reasonable or not, or whether I should continue shopping around, right? Or if that vendor is undercharging, or that vendor is on market level, like all of that is really, really important. And so love that. Leandra, what's coming to mind for you? And I know you're more in the advanced category, but still what's, coming up for you?
Yeah, no, it was great. The breakout session really helped me to also conceive of using multiple AI platforms. For example, using ChatGPT to use that prompt to get that information and then put that, say, into Canva, so it can create a visual way of organizing or creating content for the next 30 days based on blah, blah, blah. So I didn't think about that. That was genius. Also, enhancing my website. So I'm preparing for this summit that I'm going to be speaking at. And so I want to have materials ready, like donation page on my website and a QR code. So
that's so good.
Those are the main things. And then also I realize asking the right question is so key when it's coming to AI and these platforms, because that's kind of what it's all about, is asking the right questions.
It is.
And getting specific. And I'm not used to that. So that's what I'm coming away with. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. No, this is really, really good. And then I want to go to Abby. Abby, what's coming up for you? Any takeaway, next step?
Hey, I work for NOTCF, but I've had a wonderful time.
Thank you, Abby. So I'm going to keep going. To Randall. Is it LaTonya Randall?
Yes, that's right, LaTonya Randall.
I feel proud of myself. What's on your mind?
So, I consider myself in the intermediate phase. And so just working to continue to expand upon that and utilize those AI resources and to transition into that advanced stage of it. I shared in the group that I'm currently using scheduled time on social media to post throughout different times of the day and trying to just as I post, just kind of look back and see, okay, and when I post at 6 a.m., I get the most views. So just making sure that I'm scheduling posts during that time frame, and then just monitoring and tracking throughout the day when I get the most of it. And then I've utilized Chat GPT a lot for, like you say, contracts, and then also for like a ebook as well. So just continue to expand upon that, and then just learning today about more of the AI platforms. And I made a list of those to help utilize those for a future business that I'm in the process of starting as well.
That's so good. And what I love about what you're sharing, and this is why I think it's so important, y'all, to say, like, no matter where we are in business, it's something that we can take away and do to enhance, right? I've been in business for 8 years. Our business is a 7-figure business. We do well, and still we're leaving opportunities on the table, right? Our pricing model for workshops is the same no matter what day of the week it is. AI helped me think in 2026, our pricing model needs to be different. If we're doing a training on a Sunday or a Saturday, the price should not be the same if it's on a Monday to Friday. Right? It seems small, y'all, but that's a big deal. That's
just like in healthcare, though. Like, nurses and healthcare workers get paid more on the weekend and holidays than they do regular days. So yeah.
Right. But but I share that example in vulnerability to say there's always something that all of us can tweak, right? So no matter where we reach in business, it's like, okay, something I may not be doing, an audience I may not be reaching, or a space. So I love that. And then I want to go over to, we just have a few more people, y'all, and then I'm gonna hand it over to our NOTCF team. Jana.
I am the senior staff accountant for NOTCF, so I will pass, but thank you for sharing all this information.
Thank you. Freddie, what you got, Freddie? Not Freddy Krueger. I know it's like almost Halloween, but
Freddie Evans. So I just want to share something that came in from our breakout session.
Good.
And it's from the sister with the Go Dance shirt on. I don't remember her name, but what she shared was so important. She said that she the first question that she may pose is create the best prompt for this question that I have. She says because the prompt is so important. So she may go to different platforms just to create the best prompt. And I realized that when I put in the prompt for this exercise that we're doing now, because not only did I get a lot of opportunities, ideas, most of which all of which I've already done, but I also got ways to pursue them.
Yeah, the how. You know why I love that? Because you're right around, even I forget who said it. They were like, here are the things that I could do. Here's where I could be leaving money on the table. But it's totally different to say, okay, that's who, but how do you approach them?
Yes.
What do you say if you're sending a message to them, if you're going to them in person? Like, it's the how and not even the what. So I love that.
Yeah. And there's one more thing that came up in our breakout session, which I brought up, was you talked about protecting your identity, but should we also be concerned, and I am, with protecting my ideas, especially when you're talking, I hear a lot of people talking about writing grant proposals and this and ideas. So how, maybe you can address that. How do we protect the ideas? And when we find, another question I would like for you to talk about is when we find information that's incorrect. As a historian, as a writer, I've run across this, especially with New Orleans history and culture. How and what do we do to correct it?
That's good. I'm going to hold both of your questions to the end and then give people an opportunity to optionally stay on for the, Q&A for that. So that's really good. I want to hit both of them. How do you protect your original ideas? And then the second one
was, what do we do when we see information that's incorrect?
The inaccuracies. That can come with AI. So both of those questions. And then we go over to Eric and Catherine. Anything y'all want to share?
No, I think I had a chance to share. I don't have anything to
add. Okay. And then Catherine?
Oh, I don't think I have anything else to share. I think I shared.
Oh, wait a minute. Are there two Catherines? I'm looking at Catherine Woodfox.
Oh, I'm Catherine Johnson.
Yeah, so there's two Catherines in here.
Oh, see that? Okay, yes. Okay, Woodfox.
Yeah, I will say that you know, I work for NOTCF, but I was in a breakout room with Sarah, Natasha, and Freddie. And just the conversations, the information that was shared was really insightful and just made me think of some things as well that I didn't even think of. Like what Natasha brought up, using different platforms to get the best, you know, prompt or
Yes.
result. So yeah, I never even thought to even do that. So you know, this was just really insightful, and I just learned a few things myself that I can use moving forward.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And then Chastity. Okay, Chastity may not be able. Oh, there you go.
Hi. So I'm probably a little bit more advanced.
Okay, good.
But Willie was asking like questions like right before we came back from the breakout room about getting started. So I just pulled up, I'm putting in the chat a website that I used a few months ago that basically teaches you like how to prompt when doing and it's like the basics. It really is in advance, but it's great information. Like it basically teaches you like how to like set up your question for like chat GPT or other forms of AI. Like it basically tells you to, when you create your question, you give the tag like a role, meaning like if you're doing something for social
CEO company.
management, then you put like, you know, as a social media manager, then you give it a task like produce a posting timeline for, and like the context, you put the context, and then your requirements, like you needed to contain this information. And then you also add like boundaries, like don't include or whatever, and then give your reason why, and
Yeah.
how it gives you like a much better response than just asking like, hey, create me a social media timeline for,
Yep.
you know, a simple post.
Yep.
And then to the lady that was talking about grant writing, there is a website called Grantable. I used it like one time, maybe like 3 years ago. So I don't even know if I'm sure it's nothing like what it was 3 years ago. But what they do is they break it out into like different parts of a grant application and help you fill out different parts of your grant application using AI.
That's good. That's good. Can you put that the grant you said grantable? There you
Yeah,
go.
I
Cameron
can.
got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cameron just put it in the chat. Thank you for that, Cam. That's really good. And thank you for sharing that too. And then I want to see, so building on that, if I miss anyone, go ahead and unmute and share. I'll give you a moment. Okay. So I don't think I
Oh,
missed it. Good. So Elizabeth, did I miss you?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Hi. So I'm sort of intermediate to advanced. I've been working with AI with my coach for the last couple of months, and we've been using ChatGPT to not just do market research, but also look ahead to the holidays and thinking about what's already on the market, where the holes are that we can fill with different products. And we've gotten to the point where it's created a calendar for me with the prompts that we've been using of what to post, when to post it, and where to post it. So certain things on Instagram, certain things on Facebook, other things only on TikTok or only on LinkedIn. So depending on the platform, we've been able to develop a platform and content specific calendar that now we're just working on scheduling so that as the holidays approach, I'm not thinking about half of those things because that takes a lot of brain power and I'm focusing more on production and
Yeah.
putting our boards out.
That's good. That's good. Thank you so much for sharing that, Elizabeth. And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen really quickly, and just share to the young lady that asked the question about, what to do with uploading your, information. We talked about basically redacting, the documents is one thing, but here's one thing to know. And this is actually an example of misinformation, but not 100% of AI platforms like provide or take away the opportunity for you to fully own that data or information. In other words, there are some AI platforms, by nature of you uploading any type of information and data in it, they automatically own it. There are other AI platforms that in their data policy, they explicitly share that they do not have ownership of your information and cannot utilize it for any internal purposes, data collection, etc. So I say that to say, and let me put both of these points that I'm going to share in the chat. It's really important to check the data policy. Like, don't just go by rumors, right? Like, check the data policy of each independent digital technology or AI platform you're actually using to understand how that particular platform uses it, because they don't all take the same actions. Second one is, especially for those of you who are using prompting platforms, so ChatGPT will be one of them. You actually should go to the settings and turn off the button that gives them permission to utilize your prompts and information for their own training purposes. That's very important, because if that button is still on, that means anything you're putting in it can be used, like, essentially as floating information, right? When you turn the button off, it keeps your information specific to just your portal or your profile account. So it is not true. If anyone tells you that, Chat GPT has no limitations on it and it's just going to use it automatically, they've actually updated the model to provide your choice. And here's the thing that I think about equity, and it's not a dirty word. I still believe in it. It's important. I think the challenge is promoting this type of access to information, right? Because what you don't necessarily hear is a promotion of like, hey, you should go turn off the button, right? You're going to hear, oh, use our platform. So that's why it's important for us to share this type of information with one another, to say, hey, go in the settings and turn the button off, right? And so that said, super glad and grateful to hear so many different responses. And then to the inaccuracies, I'll put my response to that in the chat to keep us, on time. But I want to give the floor back to you, Lisa, Alexis, or Clave, or anybody else, Tiffany, on the NOTCF team, to kind of close us out. What's top of mind for y'all? And shout out to all of the amazing attendees, because this was a really great conversation. And I do think this part around where are we leaving, revenue on the table is a very real one. How are we protecting the brand that we have built? That's a big one, y'all, right? And so in terms of that contract review, the contract negotiation, just language, all the things, and making sure that we utilize it for strategic business planning, so that you're not operating a business that in 1 or 2 years could become obsolete. It's like seeing the writings on the wall. So it's I think it's less of like using digital tech and AI for surface level things only, and really saying, how am I elevating my use of it to be smart as a business owner, right? And to protect what I've built. So go ahead, Lisa, and the NOTCF team.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Does anyone on NOTCF team have any other comments to share?
No, but I just want to say thank you to everyone that was able to join this evening. This has been so insightful for all of us, either a beginner or advanced with using AI. Thank you, Crystal, to your team for curating this workshop and willing to share this knowledge with the cultural community. I truly wish the best to everyone, and I'm just going to turn it back over to our CEO and president. But thank you, and also thank you to the NOTCF team that joined tonight, and hopefully this was insightful to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Clave. And Clave is our senior program director, and she's responsible for curating the entire program. So we are very appreciative to you, Clave. And I just want to acknowledge Kristen with A Crew NOLA has joined in as well. And she has her business and it's going so well. So glad to have you join us. And I'm turning it back over to Crystal and Kay Allen and Cameron. You've done a phenomenal job and we thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
thank everyone for joining in.
Yes.
And we hope it has been a benefit of your time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'll just say, to that second question that came up, about the inaccuracies in AI, this is why I think over dependence on it becomes a challenge because these are human trained models, right? And so one thing I think is really important is that we verify the information, right? We have to fact check certain aspects of AI output that comes to us. And so making sure that you are not, and not to say that anyone on the call is doing this, but we don't just copy the information and paste it. Like that we pay close attention to detail to reread it ourselves, correct and verify before we, submit it out because it will have real error in the limitation of information that it provides. And so that said, we thank you for your time. We appreciate you all. We encourage you to stay plugged in to all things NOTCF because they are one of the most incredible organizations in our city that really cares about us and making sure that we not only survive as businesses, but we thrive in the process, right? And so y'all have a good rest of your night.
Ask a question before you leave.
Yeah, go ahead. And then
Yes.
I'll stay on for anyone who wants to stay on and chat, a little bit further. And thank y'all for the love in the comments. This is really beautiful to see. Yeah, this is wonderful. So I'll stay on for an additional 10 minutes just for folks who want to, engage. But y'all have a wonderful rest of the night. I'll stop recording.